North City, hello. Here I am, one of your pastors, who apparently continues to neglect cutting his hair. So there's that. I don't know when I'm going to do that. So stay tuned. Maybe one of these weekly updates will have significantly less hair, and you will know that something changed in my mind, I guess. Anyways, we're not here to talk about my hair, and I feel like I'm getting goofier and goofier with these weekly updates. Hopefully, those of you who watch these enjoy that. But I'm not here to make you laugh, even though that's fun. I'm here to update you, give you the updates on what's going on with North City. So thank you for tuning in, listening, watching. Here are some things that I just want you to know about. First of all, if you were at dinner church this last weekend, if you weren't, goodness, Kara Doughton brought the Jesus story, and that's on our YouTube page and our podcast, and you should listen to it. It was amazing. If you missed it, if you were there, maybe you should listen to it again. It was awesome. So, but that's not what I was going to tell you about. I said something during dinner church, during the announcements, about a potential worship night happening towards the end of the month. We have decided to postpone that and do that later into January. So thank you for staying tuned, but continue to stay tuned. We will create and craft that space later in February. So please take note of that. That's postponed. Here are some more things that are coming up though. So I did a little teaser on Sunday as well for maybe what we'll be calling Sunday Fun Day. So let me describe what that is. There is an unspoken American holiday on February 13th called the Super Bowl. And that is not why primarily we're planning this, but we are leaning into the awkward scheduling conflict of that American thing to embrace a fun idea of creating some extended time for us to be together earlier in the day. So here's what I mean. On February 13th, what we're planning is for a Sunday Fun Day, a fun time for us to hang out with each other, build community with one another, laugh, tell goofy jokes. I don't know, whatever we do when we come together. At Weber Park, we're getting confirmation for that from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. that Sunday. And here's what it's going to be like. Everyone's invited. We're going to have this kind of an informal atmosphere of hanging out, not only in the big community room we're all normally always in. There'll be kind of like brunchy type atmosphere, as well as there'll be food involved in some way, shape, or form. We're still working on that. But there'll be games, there'll be hangout spaces, there'll be things for kids to do. Also, we're going to incorporate some like focus time of like sledding and the other part of the park. The ice rink opens up from 12 o'clock and is open through the rest of the day, but we'll have a concentrated time of utilizing that for those who want to do that, and a bunch of other fun things. So just mark your calendar, February 13th. It's Super Bowl Sunday Fun Day for North City before all that happens, and we'll be hanging out with each other. And then we're going to take a pause from dinner church that day. So put that on your calendar, plan to come. It should be a lot of fun. We're still nailing down confirmations with reservations and time and stuff, but it's approaching. So we're just wanting to put it on your radar, which hopefully you can do. And then another thing I want to let you know about is we are continuing to experiment with providing really good environments of teaching and learning for you outside of our dinner churches. We have some great conversations. We learn a lot about Jesus, but we have heard from you all this desire for having a more robust teaching space. And so last fall, we experimented with having those on Thursday nights, every other Thursday night, in person and digital. I'm working on a new experience here that should take us through February, about through Easter time. And I've decided to study the book of Galatians. And you're like, whoa, that's not as maybe cool sounding as emotionally healthy spirituality, but it is cool. It will be amazing. One of our commitments as a church is to be shaped by Scripture. And one of the ways we do that is just look and concentrate on a book of the Bible together. So I know that's kind of vague. Here are some concrete things that are going to happen as we do that. Number one, the fifth Sunday of this month at Dinner Church, we're carving out more time for a more concentrated teaching time that's kind of going to be an introduction of the book of Galatians. Not like kind of a boring commentary read, but more of kind of like a sermon. Remember those? That kind of maybe whets your appetite a little bit for what God might speak to you through the book of Galatians, and an invitation to join us in the study. And then probably what will come from that is that those monthly in-person teaching nights that will be, my hope is for them to move even more to be more of collaborative study of scripture together, but it will for sure have an expository teaching focus, which means someone like myself or another communicator will teach you about the book of Galatians incrementally. And then to kind of undergird that, I hope to work on a reading plan that you can read through the book of Galatians kind of slowly over the next few months with us. I might record some of my own reading of Galatians, just kind of informal things that we'll put on a podcast that maybe you can listen to 1-2 times a week as we work our way slowly through Galatians. So you're like, oh man, that sounds cool, but what does that mean for me? What I would love to hear from you is if you're interested, because if you're interested and you want to do that, I think that you can help me kind of put the final touches on how we navigate Galatians together and how we study together. And I just want to know if there's enough interest to make it worth our time to invest our resources as a church in doing it. So I would love to hear from you. If you want to go on the journey with us, you can text me if you have my number. If you don't have my number, you can text the church's number and let us know. Just text Galatians, I'm in. Let us know of your interests of it. And then I'll kind of be contacting folks and letting them know how they can join us on the journey. The last thing I want to say is this is kind of just off the cuff here, not a prepared speech by any stretch of the imagination. As your pastor, I just want to acknowledge the moment we're in, where we're in the midst of another surge of COVID and Omicron. And I think it's just really important to name and not like go la 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 and hope this passes soon, that this is just a really hard time. It's Omicron is really contagious, and many of you are taking the precautions you feel led to take. And for some of you, that means putting a pause on coming to Dinner Church for a while. And I just want to say I respect that decision, and I don't want you to carry around guilt for making that decision. And some of you might be wondering, like what's the intermediate future of Dinner Church here? And you might have come to Dinner Church realizing that there are fewer people there, I think mostly for the surge of Omicron. And for all of the things I said, I just want to acknowledge, hey, we're in this moment again. Let's give ourselves some grace. We're going to get through this. It is for a season. I'm very convicted about how we're doing church now. I feel that you are as well, that we have a ton of momentum in doing this. We're also at the mercy of the park and their decisions around allowing us to be there. And as long as they allow us to be there, we will continue to have Dinner Church. And we encourage you to keep taking steps of safety for yourself. We'll continue to wear masks when we're not eating at Dinner Church. As your pastor, I'd encourage you, if you're not vaccinated yet, to strongly consider that and talk with your health provider about any questions you have about that. And let's just pray for one another in this time, and consider one another in this time as best we can. Also, I want to say, if your decision is to step away from Dinner Church for a little while, as I said, I respect that. What I would encourage you to do is to not make that mean disconnection from our community. We're working hard now to, for instance, record our Jesus stories and record things like this. So in stepping away for a safety reason for a season, maybe step towards some of these communication systems and ways of participating, so that you don't lose your connection with our community, or it just kind of becomes a scary place if you get disconnected from the people who love you and who are trying to spur you on towards love and good deeds and towards your relationship with Jesus. So, and pastoral thought towards you, but I just want you all to know I love you all, praying for you, praying for our city, praying for our country. I know we're tired in a lot of ways, but I think whenever we're in these spaces, God always has something for us, and it's not always what we expect. So join me in looking for his leadership and his voice, even in maybe some disappointing and hard times. There's hope. There's a lot of good going on even in the midst of this. So I'll let that be that for our update this week. Thank you for listening. If you listened all the way to the end, you're a champ. I will see you all around, either at dinner, church, or the things that I've described. Later.